not your first time fighting on enemy soil in the UFC. So is this just old hat for you now? Just coming into someone's backyard and trying to give him an L?
Well, I was just kind of the home fighter until last Wednesday night, and now they've given me a fucking British guy in the UK. But I live here for the most of the year. I train in Liverpool with Caola, Four Corners. I trained in my own gym this morning. Took a 30-minute drive up the road, so I'm not the home fighter, but I don't expect it to be too bad this weekend. Not
So-
Paris, anyway.
So you will have some cheers when you come out.
Lad, there's a crowd coming. Like, it's as close to UFC Dublin as we're going to get for a while anyway. So I expect a big Irish contingent in the crowd. But now, lads, part and parcel. Cheer me or boo me. I don't really care.
What do you make of your opponent? Obviously, he's on a bit of a skid, but he's still very popular, especially here in the UK. Where do you think he stands in his career?
Well, first and foremost, I fair play to him. Respect here. Like, I didn't have a fight last Wednesday night. I didn't know what was going on. I've known Jake Hadley since, it must be 12 years now, like from the amateur days. I've been watching him. We've both kind of been winning the whole way up. Both Cage Warriors champions coming in. So I've always respected his skill. And as soon as I heard his name, that gave me a lift. Like, I think anyone who's been watching UK MMA for a while will tell you it's a much better fight. He's a bigger name, obviously, in the UK. But I think coming up from 100, anyone who's ever trained with me or fought with me will tell you that coming up from 125 pounds, you'll be doing very, very, very well to live with me. Like, so absolutely respect him, fair play to him, but I think I'm going to run through him, for being honest.
How much of a factor do you think that will play? He's fought at flyweight most of his UFC career. Now he's coming up and fighting, one of the bigger 135ers.
Definitely one of the bigger 135ers. Definitely one of the biggest weight cuts in the division. It has to play a factor. Like, I anytime I've ever trained with a bantamweight, they're the one that tell me, like, after, "Jeez, lad, you're strong." I never train with flyweights because maybe a wee bit too strong for him to come up. I don't know. He's a skillful fighter. He definitely poses threat. I say he's been winning the whole way up, like, but I'm very, 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 very. Now, I'm not stupid and saying, "Oh, as soon as I hit him, he'll go down. He's a wee man. As soon as I grip him, he'll be like." It's not that. He's a good fighter, but there's him feeling good and thinking, "Fuck, I haven't got a weight cut. I feel strong here. I feel healthy. I feel good at 135 pounds." And then there's, under the bright lights, 4-ounce gloves, me hitting him for the first time at 135 pounds, me gripping him for the first time. So has to play a factor, but I can't be under the illusion of, like, "Oh, I'll just walk through him because he's coming up in weight class." But that is definitely a factor. That's no point in lying.
And then just one that unrelated to this fight. I don't know if you saw, but there's been some rule changes that have been approved that are going to affect on November 1st. That will allow 12 to 6 elbows. And,
No way.
Yeah. And it's also redefined what a downed opponent is. I think you need another part of your body besides your hand. So like your elbow, your shoulder, your butt, whatever. You can't just have one hand down. They still have to, all the commissions still have to approve this. So it might take a while, but November 1st is realistically the rollout. What do you make of these new rule changes?
Well, it sounds good. Like, I can literally put my kneecap to your fucking forehead, but I can't do this. It's a stupid rule in the first place. But I actually hadn't heard that, lad. But hey, happy days. Makes sense.
Caolan right here.
Yes, lad.
Just one for me, bro. Couple guys in the division that are making kind of noise, right? Like Raul Rosas Jr. I know you called him out. Another guy, Peyton Talbot.
Yeah.
What do you think of those guys, and what do you think you have to do to kind of get yourself noticed the way they have so far?
Well, my plan was to call out Rosas as soon as this ended. 7 weeks later, go back to back in the sphere. I was ready to do that. It's the only way to make it in this game. Look at fucking Alex Pohe, 2 weeks' notice, rocking up, putting man fair play to him, absolutely flying. That was my plan, but obviously he's booked now. Peyton Talbot is a good fighter, 100% a good fighter. Fair play to him, going well, but like, Jesus Christ, man, cool the jets. Like I watched his debut. Like, whenever the Mac was coming up, people were saying, like, when he fights a grappler, he'll get smashed. When O'Malley was coming up, when he fights a grappler, he'll get smashed. But it was speculation, really. You hadn't seen it. I watched his debut. Fucking some lad, I don't even know who the guy was, comes out, takes him down, takes the back, flattens him out, gasses, comes out second round, gassed, again finds himself in his back. I was like, geez, lad, you actually don't know how to fucking... You're giving your back every time. So he is a good fighter, 100%. fair play to him. He's after sparking that kid Gamori, who pulled out on me on the Tuesday morning. I would urge anyone who's watching this to hit pause and go watch UFC France's video of him warming up for that fight before he blow Peyton up over that win. But he is good, but I think getting a wee bit too much hype at the weight class. There's definitely tougher fights at 135 for less hype. If the UFC wanted me to do that at the end of this year next, absolutely no fucking problem. I'd fight Peyton Talbot next, no problem.
Caolan, back here. The fight replacement, again, obviously a little bit of a nightmare, right? Talk to me, does the game plan change at all going from Ramon Tavares to Jake Hadley?
Well, we prepare correct, and I always hear these fighters going up saying, "Oh, the opponent's irrelevant," and all that shit. I think that's bullshit. Like John Jones openly says, "I prepare for my opponent." Like I don't understand why he's saying that. So we prepared for Ramon, absolutely. We done 10.5-week camp with Southpaw, and I hadn't trained or sparred one Southpaw, and then last Wednesday night he pulled out at my last spar on the Thursday, and Colin goes, "We may as well go orthodox and shoot on him on his last spar," and I was like, "That's definitely what it's going to be." Lo and behold, the UFC pulled out a Southpaw for me and Jake Hadley. Very lucky that, again, not the same style, but not too dissimilar. Injuries happen in this game. That's part and parcel with the sport. If you're preparing correctly every day in the gym, you're going in fighting, you're wrestling. Injuries happen, so I'm sure it's not the last time it'll happen. But of course, not ideal. But just happy I got a Southpaw. I'm more than anything happy to be on this stage, sitting here today, about to fight on UFC 304, one of the biggest cards the UK's ever had. So, again, fair play to Jake. Thanks him for fucking taking it. But couple of changes, yeah. Couple of changes.
And you spent the beginning of this year at Fight Ready before your fight in Atlantic City. Wondering, are you looking to go back there sometime soon? And what was that training like?
Yeah, it was great. It was Colin and Caola says if you can go. We went over for 3 weeks. Fucking bit of sun in the UK. Bit of sun in January. Is not what I'm used to in the UK, so that was nice. It was great training. A lot of UFC bantamweights, and I suppose I was coming off my first ever loss. I've been winning the whole way up. I'd never fucking lost a round as a pro before my UFC debut, and not that you would ask questions of yourself, but it's nice to be with a lot of UFC bantamweights and flyweights and that, see where your level's at, and just kind of like confirm it to yourself that I can handle these boys, you know what I mean? So it was a good experience. Something I'd absolutely be open to doing again, but my gym, Team Cowboy on four corners, you know.
And my final question, how proud are you to be one of 3 fighters representing Ireland on this card? Always,
lad. Always. I say there's a big contingent coming this weekend from places of Ireland I don't know. People like just general MMA fans representing as best I can, you know what I mean? So that's all. It means the world to me, lad, to be honest.
You said at the start that this is the closest thing you're going to get to a UFC Dublin for a while. Why do you think that is? Because as the guys just said, there's a few on the card this weekend. Ian Garry seems to be, getting to that point where he could headline.
The big blonde Brazilian fella?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so why do you think that is?
No, I'm joking. Hopefully, it probably does rely on Ian. I'm not getting to UFC Dublin this year anyway. I'm fucking only 1-1 in the UFC. I just heard no talk of it. It was 10-year anniversary on the 19th there. I was a kid in school who couldn't afford a ticket to that, but if that was to happen, it would be quite literally a dream come true, but I'm hearing nothing of it. If we keep winning, of course, Ian keeps winning, it becomes more likely, but I'm just hearing nothing of it. You know what I mean? No confirmation of it, but if it happens, of course, that would be unbelievable. That would be unbelievable.
There's some issue with Ian?
No. I'm joking, lad. No, he's doing well for himself. Fair play, like.
Just on Ian quickly, what do you think he can do to maybe get the fans back on his side? It feels like in recent fights he's done so much wrong in MMA fans' minds. What do you think he can do to get the crowd back on his side?
To be honest, the way he was talking the last time, he seemed to... I was liking it. Like, he seemed more like himself. Winning is... Well, actually, you say that Bilal's in the main event this night. He's been winning like it doesn't always work. I don't know, lad. Be yourself and keep winning. Would hope that the Irish will get behind you eventually. Like, he is an Irishman essentially, so not essentially, he is an Irishman. So I don't know, lad. I just focus on me. I'm building a big support in Ireland, but fair play to him. He's been winning. I think he took a lot of unwarranted stick for the MVP performance. I mean, fuck me. Any win against the MVP is a good fucking win in my eyes, if I'm being honest. I knew he was tricky in the field. I didn't think he was that fucking tricky. He done what he had to do, but I just focus on me, lad. If they like him, they like him. If they don't, they don't. I only worry about myself, you know. Job done. Thank you, boys.